the thing I wanted to talk about was the obvious hypocrisy of all this, because there's again, just for YouTube and anyone else, no, shouldn't break into things, no, shouldn't, smash the windows, blah, blah, blah. But
if you do, make sure you take weed with you.
But this is not an opinion shared by everyone. This is an opinion shared by the right wing for the last 4 years, and then, of course, you see some people saying this is fine now, which I disavow, and they shouldn't say that. Yep. But the left wing has not shared this opinion for the last 4 years. Absolutely not. And I'm not going to take any moral lectures from these people telling me that this is horrible. People should act. We should not be doing violence. We stand with the police. After the last 4 years of defund the police, screw the republic. This republic is being run by a fascist who's setting up concentration camps.
This is not the USA here. We've revolted against it.
Yeah, setting up independent states.
Yeah.
Like these people... No, I'm not taking anything. I'm really annoyed about this.
Yeah.
So we're just letting John get up the last couple of bits. But the thing I wanted to talk about here was obviously just to lay out for people who might not know. So the first thing is Andy No's tweet here. So the same time that these Trump supporters were storming the Capitol building, Antifa in Portland...
Storming?
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm happy to use that term just for this. Because
ambling into the Capitol building.
Stumbling with their walking sticks.
Enjoying the walking tour of the Capitol building.
Antifa were also trying to get inside of the courthouse in Portland. Still. This is still going on. After what must be, I don't know, a year, a month, 6 months?
Oh, well, it's been something like 150 days.
But that's the endless violence. Sporadic throughout the entire year, at least.
Well, in Portland, it's been like well over 100 days, probably about nearly 200 days straight of Antifa riots.
Yeah.
Ted Wheeler got punched in a restaurant by Antifa the other day.
But this is, this is not news. This is absolutely nothing. This was not mentioned anywhere because why would it be?
But somehow this is not a threat to the Republic.
Yeah, so I wanted to get the images up.
I guess because Nancy Pelosi doesn't have an office in there.
Just for a timeline to make people understand. Like, this is Berkeley in 2016. Remember when Milo went there and they set fire to the place? Armed forces had to come in, get Milo out for his own safety against his will, I believe it was. He didn't want to leave. They said, no, you have to. So, fine.
Yep.
And then we have the IEDs. So this was Portland. They started attacking the courthouse. This is a screenshot of when an IED went off that was thrown at the courthouse.
Yep, I remember it.
Still no disavowal. Still actual endorsement of what was going on. And then we had the shooting.
Antifa's just an idea, man.
And then we had the shooting that took place in Portland. Sorry, this is the Molotovs first. So this is... there were 3 thrown at this instance at police officers.
I shouldn't laugh, but the Footloose remake of this video was the best thing in the world.
Yeah, no one was hurt from this. Well, at least killed. I don't know if his feet were hurt. But subsequently, there have been more Molotovs thrown at police officers. Still no disavowal. Still know this is bad. Everyone shut their mouths because the election was going on.
Yep.
Can't dare. And then we had the guy getting murdered. I mean, 100% Antifa murdering a Trump supporter in the middle of the street.
Yep.
And nothing. The Vice ran a defense piece for him.
Yeah. Well, he was interviewed.
He was interviewed to defend himself, saying, "Oh, it was self-defense."
Yeah.
Even though we have the video evidence of that not being
You hid
true.
behind a pillar and then snuck out and shot him in cold blood.
Yeah. And okay, these are just random acts of violence or whatever. I maybe. But let's talk about ICE. You remember the guy who went to the ICE facility?
Yeah, he tried to firebomb the ICE facility.
He didn't try. He succeeded.
Oh, did he actually succeed?
Yeah.
I thought he was shot dead, though, wasn't he?
He threw some kind of device that was incendiary, set fire to the facility, and then the cops came out and were like, what the hell is this? He had a rifle, so they were like, all right, fine. I just shot him to death because this terrorist is attacking the building.
But he was under the impression that these were concentration camps, and the person who called them concentration camps was AOC. So this appears to be a direct causal linkage to her extremist rhetoric inciting violence that got a man killed.
So that's a government building. That's a federal government building. Let's talk about the courthouse, federal government building.
Yep.
We've also mentioned before the fact that you had Kavanaugh, where they stormed the courthouse.
Oh, they didn't just storm the courthouse. They occupied
the Senate.
And several buildings around it, and there were 300 arrests.
Yeah, so don't tell me this is some kind of new event, for one. But also don't act like this is, oh my god, how can this possibly happen? Because you guys made this normal for the last 4 years. That's how this happened. But I just wanted to play the response to get the point. Like, no, these people in the center of the Democratic Party, Joe Biden himself refused to disavow this. So the first one here is Joe Biden not disavowing Antifa's violence and instead saying it was a myth. Sorry, saying that it was just an idea.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to do something about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right-wing problem. This is a left-wing. This is a left-wing problem.
White supremacist. Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Oh, you got it.
Not militia. That's what his FBI director said.
Well, then you know what?
No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're moving.
That's after they bombed the courthouse and thrown Molotovs at the police.
Unreal.
Just no self-awareness.
Just an idea, man.
It's not just the leader of the Democratic Party and now Democratic president. It's also much of his senators. We don't have time for all of them, but the best one I've got to put up is this guy saying that the whole violence is a myth whilst the violence was going on.
Yeah. It is true. There's violence across the whole country. Do you disavow the violence from Antifa? That's happening in Portland right now? There's riots.
That's a myth. That's being spread only in Washington, D.C.
About Antifa in Portland?
Yes.
Sir, there's videos everywhere online. There's fires and riots. They're throwing fireworks at federal officers. DHS is there. Look online. It gets crazy, Mr. Nadler.
That's unreal. I mean, the chap asking is a guy called Fleckers.
Wow,
I've been interviewed there before. He's a really nice guy. And you can see by his polite demeanour there, he's exactly the same.
Yeah, Antifa's a myth in Portland. Meanwhile, the whole city is on fire. They're trying to burn down the courthouse.
Yeah, I mean, he's completely right in what he's saying. This guy's just lying or in denial.
Yeah, and it's not just him. Senator Hirono, you remember Ted Cruz asked her repeatedly, will you disavow the violence? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You saw the candidate running against Ted Wheeler when she asked, okay, well, what if there's people in the building and you set fires to the building? Do you disavow that? And her response was, I'm not causing the violence. I'm not participating in the violence. Just dodge the question.
So who said that?
The candidate running against Ted Wheeler.
Right.
So also Democrat.
the
Stalinist, Maoist
Stalinist.
nonsense. Yeah. So let's not play this game, because we've also got this from I Hypocrite, who's a great follow. But to be honest, I'm at the point where just get off Twitter.
Yeah.
So this is him archiving the fact with Kamala Harris here with that bail fund, tweeting out that, guys, you need to donate to this because Black Lives Matter and all the rest of it. And then the fact that this money was used to bail out 2 lawyers who had firebombed the New York Police Department car. Really?
This is unbelievable.
Like, this is the vice president now.
Yeah.
And then we have the president saying it's an idea.
But
and this tweet is still up. We can get the next one. Her tweet is still there. She feels no embarrassment about this. Like, she's obviously been called out about this, but she says nothing. It's just, if you can chip in.
Total frauds and liars, both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, obviously.
But a fraud would be someone who's just taken advantage, doesn't really have an interest. Like, I reckon these people do have an interest in it, and they're happy for the violence to go on. And they demonstrate that through their actions, which they've done.
Yeah.
Okay. Compare that to Trump making a video, publishing it, and saying, go home.
And then getting censored.
That's the response.
Censored on the premise that this video is going to create more violence.
It's a great point.
Maybe from the left.
This is not only still up, and Kamala hasn't deleted it, Twitter didn't delete it.
Yeah.
Still there. No one cares. But let's just talk about some of the... So, a lot of videos and images started circulating, and a lot of leftists decided that this was a great point to make, which is that this image of Washington on fire was caused by the Trump protesters, and, oh my God, this is unreal, and she's not the only one there, Samantha. There's a load of others who did it. And then, correctly being pointed out there, this is from June.
Yeah.
This is not the MAGA guys. This was months ago.
Yeah.
Remember when you said nothing?
Yeah. This was like 5 days straight of rioting in Washington D.C. Didn't go near the Capitol building because, of course, that had protection. But no, actually no, I'm wrong. Sorry, they did go near the Capitol building, but this is just fires and looting and burning of just the property of private citizens. If you're a business owner, screw you, don't care. But this was when Donald Trump was forced into the bunker underneath the White House because the protesters were trying to break into the White House. Yeah,
and Candace Owen did a good job of demonstrating this as well in a tweet, which is just images of what was going on. Oh my God, how horrible. Oh wait, no, this is months ago, so no one cares.
Yeah, this is Black Lives Matter. I mean, this isn't a threat to the Republic. This isn't insurrection.
This was supported by them. It wasn't just that they said nothing. They set up a bail fund. They defended it, saying it was an idea. It's a myth. This isn't happening. Compare that to Trump saying, do not do any violence. Yeah. And of all the violence they did...
Time to go home in peace and love.
Yeah, they broke down some doors into a sacred building, the Capitol building. Yep, okay.
Into a building that is public. They technically the people own that building.
But there's the point. It's the elite. The fact that the senators and congressmen were threatened, we've got to do something. This is horrible.
We could all have been killed.
Yeah.
Shut up, Lindsay.
Poor people.
Florida man wasn't going to kill you. Those weed smokers weren't going to kill you. They just wanted to prat around.
Yeah, but poor people, regular people, being killed in the street, having their property destroyed, their businesses burnt down, nada. Not a problem. Blatant. I'm not having
We need to bail these people out of jail.
Yeah, we need to help them. Yeah. We need to help the guys committing the violence.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned earlier, I wanted to get Kavanaugh up just so to make the point that this isn't storming a building isn't new. Like these are leftist movement supporting crowds breaking into the Senate building and occupying it to try and stop Kavanaugh from being appointed. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, that's a Supreme Court justice.
Yeah.
But
and I remember seeing videos of it at the time where you have a bunch of middle-aged white Karens trying to break the door down. It was really funny because obviously they were never going to break that door down.
No.
So they're just like banging on the door and smashing it with things, but it looks really pathetic. But they still did manage to occupy it. So,
so don't give me this BS. This is new. It isn't. And the other response to this has been obviously the immediate cancellation of anyone who dared to try and disavow the election results.
Yes.
So this is Josh Hawley we covered previously, who gave a speech against the results, and the response was that his book calling out big tech for being tyrannical, The Tyranny of Big Tech, has been cancelled by his publisher. They're not publishing anymore. Which is weird considering we just saw a massive tyrannical push by big tech in response to this event.
Yes, and this is a duly elected senator who is exercising his constitutional prerogative to contest the election's results in a lawful way.
Doing his job.
He's doing his job because of the complaints of many of his constituents. And
you can disagree with him.
Yeah, exactly. And he might be wrong. He might present the case. They'll present the counter case, and he'll be like, "Well, it's obvious you're wrong, Mr. Hawley. Sorry, but thank you for your time." And he'll be like, well, "Okay, fair enough. There we go. What else can you do?" But instead, he just gets deplatformed. And if elected representatives can just get deplatformed, then everything's on the table.
If that's the standard,
that's the standard.
What leftist is standing?
Yeah,
name one.
It's the MAGA movement that is going to be just roundly deplatformed from everything now.
Yeah.
So this is why we're recommending you follow us on Rumble, follow us on Parler, follow us on BitChute and Minds and all of the other alt tech platforms that aren't going to deplatform the MAGA movement. You are not going to be allowed to exist on Silicon Valley platforms. Yeah. I mean, okay, let's just get to the end of this bit because
I'll try and be quick, but I just wanted to point out, the alternative, the defense of looting here. Like, if we can get that up. Like, yeah, that's published. That's fine. No problem. People promoting it during everyone looting.
Oh, yeah, there were loads. Like, there was loads of different ones. The NPR promoted this. You think there's normally quite a neutral platform, but no, they promoted this. And Florida Man just looks... I just love this guy's face. He just looks like such a normal, nice guy. He's just like, just having fun.
But then we have Joe Biden's response to this. Sorry, we have the white thing first. So this is a guy saying that if they had not been white, think of the carnage that would have happened. It's like, we know.
Okay, hang on. They've never fired on a Black Lives Matter protest. They've never done it. Not one black person is dead because of the billions of dollars of damage and the 15 or to 19 or whatever it is people dead from the George Floyd riots. Not one black person was shot by a cop because of that. And yet, an unarmed woman, was shot because of this.
Yeah.
So we can imagine the carnage. 0. Love my zeros. Black Lives Matter got a 0. Right?
What did the mostly white protesters get?
They get shot.
Just a lie.
You can say imagine the carnage, but we can.
But I wanted to get this video up. So Joe Biden gave a response to this whole thing, saying that no one can tell me that if it had been a group of BLM protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very, very differently. Weird grammar.
Well, yeah, you'd be in their defense. You'd be saying it's great. Lindsey Graham surely wouldn't have said they're going to kill us all.
So we have a video just to demonstrate.
But before we go, like Lindsey Graham go, we could have all died, and it's like, why do you think that was on their mind? Why are you projecting that from your mind into their minds? What are you thinking? Why do you think that that's what they would think you deserve? Just out of interest, Lindsey. Would love an answer. But anyway, go on.
Yeah.
Can't hear any.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not.
Sorry, technical issues.
Yep.
Gotta go back one.
Yep. How's it?
No one can tell me that if had been a group of Black Lives Matter protesting yesterday, they wouldn't have been treated very, very differently than the mob of thugs that stormed the Capitol. We all know that's true. And it is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable.
That's reparations.
I agree, Joe.
That is reparations. Anything they want to take it, because these businesses have insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, he's right. They would have been treated with far more deference and none of them would have been shot.
That's what happened. We had that over the summer. None of them were open fire on.
Yeah.
There was some police brutality in cases, using tear gas when you shouldn't have. Well, tear gas and flashbangs were used the other day. So Don't get me
exactly the same kind of behavior, except it was worse for the Trump supporters.
But we also have a quote from Andy No, which summarizes the fact that if they were BLM Antifa tried to break into federal building in Portland for months in 2020 using explosives, power tools, ropes, etc. The tanks never came in, and the national response was that it was wrong for federal officers to even protect the building.
Yeah, and I remember this very clearly. And in many cases, they didn't. In many cases, like with police precincts, in courthouses, and entire areas, like square blocks of the city, they would just leave to them, and people died. People got their livelihoods ruined. There were people trapped in these. So, what was it? 6 people died in the Chaz?
Something like that, yeah.
Like, it's mad.
That's just Chaz.
Yeah, that's just the Chaz. And it's like, okay. So we're just acting like nothing bad has ever happened.
We know Joe Biden, what would have happened if it was BLM. Nada.
Yeah.
You guys would have decried it and said, we must do nothing.
You'd raise money for them to bail them out.
So we have one last video, which is just to show, well, if it was BLM protesting, you can say what would be the military response, but what would be the media response? And I've just supercut this with what the media response was on today's events to show how ridiculous it is. Yeah. So if we can play this.
I want to be clear in how I characterize this. This is mostly a protest. It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
That ain't a riot, what we're seeing right now. Any reasonable person would say we shouldn't be destroying other people's property, but these are not reasonable times.
And please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do not get it twisted and think that, oh, this is something that has never happened before, and then this is so terrible, and where are we, and these savages and all of that. This is how this country was started.
People get mad, and people get sick of it. People are risking COVID to explain to this country that we're fed up.
Could you imagine if the media said that about those events?
No.
No, but they did say it about more violent events over the summer.
Yeah. And we're not saying that they should have been doing this either.
No.
We're not saying, unlike the media, where they were just playing defense for all of the violence, looting, burning, and murder that Black Lives Matter and Antifa did, we're not saying these guys are in the right. Like, if these people get charged with whatever crimes for breaking in and stealing the speaker's podium and things like this, good. That's what they get. They shouldn't have been breaking in and doing it. You deserve to get charged for the crimes you commit. End of story.
So the progressive opinion is that, well, it's social justice when BLM do it, therefore they're in the right. But these Trump supporters who have broken some windows and stormed in, that's wrong, and we must decry it, and these are terrorists, and we must take the harshest action possible. Yeah. That's the progressive opinion, and that's allowed on all of social media. That's permitted. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to take the liberal position, which is that violence is bad when BLM do it, in fact, it's very bad because they're burning businesses down and killing people, and also violence is bad when you storm a federal building, that's not allowed.
Yeah.
That if you say, okay, those two are bad things, but, they should go home, as Trump has done.
It's a consistent standard.
The consistent standard is banned from social media. The inconsistent standard is the one promoted by social media.
Yeah. So. It's atrocious. I can't stand it.